Have you ever felt a connection with someone so deep that it almost felt like it was bending the rules of reality itself? Well, today, we're going to dive into a story that lives right in that space. A story where the most honest words you can speak might just have the power to build a bridge between universes. And that brings us to the big central question of this whole story. I mean, think about it. Can two worlds, two completely separate realities, actually meet without a door or a bridge? It seems impossible, right? How could they ever connect? Well, let's find out. To really get this connection, first we have to understand the worlds these two people come from. They're different in almost every single way, except for one thing: a deep, profound, and shared feeling of solitude. Let's take a look at these two universes. So on one side, you've got the universe of dry land. Here, people wear their strength like a suit of armor, you know? They're independent, but it's really just hiding how broken they feel inside. And then, on the other side, you have the universe of the open heart. Here, real strength is about being vulnerable. It's having the courage to stay, to love, even when you're terrified. So, in this world of quiet strength and hidden pain, we meet our first character, Lee. To everyone around them, Lee is a rock, a total pillar of strength. But behind that tough exterior, there's this deep, unspoken loneliness. And this quote, wow, it just gets right to the heart of Lee's feeling, doesn't it? It's not about being lonely in an empty room. It's about being in a crowded room and still feeling completely alone. It's the difference between having people around you and having someone truly with you. Okay, now let's jump over to the other universe, the universe of the open heart. This is where we meet Lee Menyam. And Lee Menyam embodies a totally different kind of strength, the strength to love without holding back, to commit without calculation, and to understand that real love means staying, especially when things get hard. So you have these two souls, just adrift in their own separate universes. How in the world could they ever find each other? Well, the answer starts with a single, almost impossible act, an act of just pure, raw, unfiltered honesty. And this detail right here is so, so important. Liz' letter, it wasn't a cry for help. It wasn't a request. It was a release. It was a feeling so huge, so overwhelming, that it just had to be put into words, even if there was nobody there to read them. And what a way to describe that feeling. Just think about that image for a second. A house can have all its bricks perfectly in place. It can look whole from a distance. But without the mortar holding it together, it's just a fragile pile of stones ready to fall apart at any moment. That's the kind of vulnerability Lee is admitting to. And then there's this. This metaphor pulls us right back to that universe of dry land. This isn't just about wanting something. It's a deep, fundamental thirst for that emotional rain, the kind of thing that can bring a totally barren landscape back to life. Now, pay close attention to what Lee isn't asking for here. No perfection. No hero with a perfect, clean past. The request is for something so much simpler and so much more real. Just presence, unwavering loyalty, someone who won't run when the path gets dark. That's it. That's the whole plea. So you have this act of incredible, raw honesty just sent out into the void. Does it just vanish? Or does truth somehow always find a way to be heard? Well, this is where we get the echo. Against all logic, against all odds, the letter finds its way to Lee Men. And for them, this isn't just about reading words on a page. No, it's like feeling a heartbeat from another reality, a direct emotional transmission right across the void. And this perspective, this is everything. See, someone from the universe of dry land might have read Lee's letter and seen it as weakness, as desperation. But Lee Menyam, coming from the universe of the open heart, saw it immediately for what it truly was, an absolutely incredible act of courage. And the reply? It's a perfect mirror. No grand promises, no flowery language, just truth answering truth. An admission of their own imperfection, their own fear, followed by the one simple, powerful thing Lee asked for. I am someone who stays. And this is where something truly extraordinary starts to happen. This exchange of truth, it isn't just an emotional thing anymore. It actually starts to reshape their realities, physically. The words themselves, they begin to build. It's this beautiful metaphorical construction project, right? Every single word of truth they share becomes a solid stone. Every honest sentence puts down a deep root, anchoring their connection. And the steady flow of that truth between them creates a path, which eventually, piece by piece, becomes the very bridge that connects their two universes. So what is this? Magic? Well, the story suggests it's something even deeper. It's almost like a law of nature. That sincere, repeated truth has a real, tangible force. It doesn't just hope for a path to appear, it actually creates one. The bridge is built. The connection is made. So, how does a story like this end? Well, not with a fairy tale, but with something much stronger, much more real. And this, for me, is maybe the most powerful lesson of the whole thing. The story avoids that easy, cliché ending. Instead of, and they lived happily ever after, which is kind of passive, it gives us something active, an ongoing choice, the promise to simply be present for each other, day after day. Their future isn't built on some fantasy. It's built on a conscious choice. They accept everything about each other, the flaws, the past, all of it. They're just two people choosing to build something real, together, brick by brick, on land that has finally, at long last, been watered. And so, this beautiful story just kind of leaves us with a question for our own lives, doesn't it? It turns it back on us. What happens when we dare to be that honest? When we speak a truth, not to get something back, but just because our heart is too full? What impossible bridges are just waiting out there for us to build?